And thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Gage, and for Hannah this morning.
And what are we expecting today?
Well, we do have a relatively dry start. We have a single storm on the radar right now, but we are expecting some scattered storms today. One or two could be on the stronger side, producing some gusty winds as well as some hail. After this, though, we do continue to warm up this week with high temperatures reaching the low 90s by Thursday. So
feel like Florida almost.
Yeah. So big warm up on the way this week. But again, first, getting through the weather for today. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're monitoring a single storm pushing in between the Utica-Rome region right now. This is producing some lightning at this point, as well as a locally heavy downpour. This will come and go within the next 30 minutes or so. Behind that, though, more scattered showers and storms, which are set to arrive late this morning into early parts this afternoon. So again, our weather headlines: mostly dry start today with scattered storms expected in the afternoon. A very warm week ahead with highs reaching, again, the upper 80s to low 90s by the middle of this week. And on top of that, we are still looking at the possibility of wildfire smoke returning, especially for Tuesday night and into the early parts of Wednesday. But again, today, highs reaching the upper 70s to low 80s with scattered showers and storms. And some of these could be on the stronger side. I'll explain in more detail coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Let's get right to it now. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a little more crowded today.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. Wildfire smoke unfortunately returns again, and for this week we are monitoring a plume of smoke arriving from Western Canada that is set to arrive Tuesday night and into the early parts of Wednesday morning. You can see this thin line of smoke approaching into central New York, and some of this could reach near the surface. Here's a look at our near surface smoke forecast for Tuesday night and into early parts of Wednesday. Our thoughts are the air quality will not be too much affected by this, but we're thinking on the scale of air quality, it'll be a level 2 out of 5, indicating those of you who have underlying conditions, especially those of you who are unusually sensitive to particulates in the air, that this could become an issue for you. Now, in terms of rainfall for the week ahead, we are looking at scattered showers today. Isolated shower or storm tomorrow, however, it is trending mostly dry. After this, though, we're looking at a very dry day for Wednesday as highs approach the mid-80s. And after this, though, looking at more scattered showers and storms returning on Thursday. And so again, just a recap for the wildfire smoke again, this is set to arrive by Tuesday night and into early Wednesday morning. Beyond this, though, again, the air quality is set to at least be somewhat affected, especially for the northernmost part of our viewing area in the Adirondack region. Even the more worse air quality is expected to remain to the northwest of central New York. And beyond this, though, again, our thoughts are it's a level 2 out of 5, so a moderate air quality index. So for those of you who are unusually sensitive to air quality, this will be affecting you the most. We'll be right back.
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, happy Monday. We are finishing up an isolated shower in eastern Oneida County that is coming to an end within the next 20 minutes or so. And here's a live look at downtown Utica from our Nexus camera. This is the story right here. Some wet roads, nothing too bad as an isolated thunderstorm has pushed through right in between Utica and Rome. Beyond this, though, we're looking at mostly dry conditions. However, as we head into the afternoon, scattered showers and storms will begin to arrive. You notice some of them already starting to form just to the west of Binghamton. And around the clock today for weather conditions, again, a dry start, highs reaching the low 80s. With the humidity, we'll feel a little bit more warm, feeling like the low to mid 80s. And along with that, too, weather grades Again, mostly dry start, but rain chances do increase for the afternoon to early evening. And with today, we are level at least 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, meaning that we do have the chance for some gusty winds. Some areas could see the possibility of localized flooding in poor drainage areas, as well as the possibility of hail forming with some of these storms. Beyond this, though, we're looking at a very warm week ahead. For Tuesday, an isolated storm, however, looking mostly dry. Sunshine for Wednesday with increasing humidity, and then it will feel hazy, hot, and humid for Thursday and Friday with scattered showers and storms, with high temperatures reaching the low 90s. So the bigger picture is showing a weak trough to our west that'll be influencing our weather for today. So mostly dry start aside from that isolated storm moving through the Utica-Rome region. By 11:30 to noontime, more scattered showers are expected to develop. And in between 3 to 8 p.m., scattered showers and storms will continue to move throughout central New York. And 1 or 2 of these could produce some small hail as well as gusty winds. After this, though, we're monitoring the potential for the I-88 corridor in Oneonta that could see sustained heavier rainfall from training as these storms move over a single area. We'll monitor potential for that later on this evening. For Tuesday, a dry start and looking at an isolated storm possible by the afternoon, but again, trending more dry for the middle of this coming week. So for today, high of 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms. Tonight, drying out with some patchy fog in the southern valleys, a low of 62 degrees. Our 7-day forecast, isolated storm possible Tuesday, dry Wednesday, and we are warming up Thursday and Friday. Hazy, hot and humid conditions, and we're hitting the upper 80s to low 90s. And I know I just got back from Florida last week, and let me say the heat indexes of the 90s are not comfortable.
Much hotter down there, that's for
much
sure.
hotter.
Eric, thanks. Well, a political show, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberchor.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Gage, in for Hannah this morning.
And we did see a brief shower just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it came through a little bit earlier in the morning so far. It produced some of the lightning as well. That has since continued to move into Herkimer County at this point. Beyond that, though, still looking mostly dry this morning, but again, those scattered showers do return this afternoon. Here's a live look at Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2. Top the radar. That storm we were just mentioning right now is again moving into Herkimer County at this point. Still producing a few rumbles of thunder as it continues to track northeast towards the Adirondacks at this point. And again, beyond that, though, still mostly dry. We're monitoring another storm that is still moving its way slowly into the western portion of Chenango County within the next half hour or so. So our weather headlines again today, mostly dry start with scattered storms in the afternoon. 1 or 2 of those storms could be on the stronger side today. I'll explain in more detail coming up in just a minute. Very warm this week, too. Today is for as well as highs look to reach the upper 80s to low 90s. And on top of that, we are monitoring the return to some wildfire smoke, especially Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And so again for today, highs reaching the upper 70s to low 80s. Scattered showers and storms are expected in the afternoon and evening. And we also are tracking how warm it gets for the middle of this coming week coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
Hey, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, it was
As for today, we're looking at scattered showers and storms arriving by the afternoon. 1 or 2 could be on the stronger side, producing locally heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and the possibility of hail. Beyond this, though, an isolated storm or 2 Tuesday. It is trending mostly dry, however. And we are looking to be completely dry for Wednesday before additional scattered showers and storms return on Thursday. A thing to note, too, for Tuesday and Wednesday is a possibility of near-surface wildfire smoke arriving from Western Canada. This should be brief and over and done with by Thursday. Now to the current conditions. Right now, temperatures are still in the low 60s, 62 degrees measured at Griffiths Park in Rome. And the conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are looking at a single isolated storm moving into the central Herkimer County region and continuing it northeast and should be outside of at least Herkimer County within the next hour or so. And so again, today, high temperatures reaching the upper 70s to low 80s with scattered showers and storms. I'll go into more detail on the timing of arrival coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Well, what do you think of this? Tony Bennett.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. An isolated storm has since pushed through the Utica area and is continuing into Herkimer County at this point. Besides that, though, the rest of central New York is dry this morning. Here's a live look at downtown Utica from an Nexus camera. Roads were wet from that storm that passed through, and you can see right here on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, top of the radar. That storm is producing some rumbles of thunder and have locally heavy downpours, and that is still pushing to the northeast. To the southwest, we are looking at a few scattered showers and storms continuing to move into our area, and that'll be the story at least for this afternoon. So around the clock today, starting out with temperatures still starting out in the lower 60s this morning, reaching the low 80s by this afternoon. With humidity in the air, it'll feel slightly more warm in the low to mid 80s, and our weather grade still, besides those isolated storms, still most of our areas should remain dry for the start of today. However, rain, shower, and storm chances do increase as we head into the afternoon to late evening. It won't be a complete washout today, but one or two of these storms could produce a severe thunderstorm warning. We're level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather today, and the biggest concern for today is going to be the locally gusty winds, as well as the possibility of hail development. And for some areas, especially in southern Otsego County, there's a chance for flooding issues in poor drainage areas. Beyond today, though, the week ahead is looking very warm. We're entering the dog days of summer. For Tuesday, an isolated storm, but mostly dry, highs in the low 80s. Wednesday, increasing humidity with mostly sunny skies. Hazy, hot, and humid conditions expected for Thursday and Friday with scattered showers and storms. And high temperatures approaching the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values almost reaching the upper 90s on Thursday. Radar and satellite shows a weak trough moving into central New York this afternoon, and that will be causing some scattered showers this afternoon. And here's a look at our Skycast. For this morning, still starting out mostly dry, an isolated storm or two. But as we approach the afternoon to early evening, these storms become more scattered in nature. And one or two of these could become severe and produce a severe thunderstorm warning. And we're also monitoring the possibility of localized flooding along the I-88 corridor, as some of these storms could become stationary and move over a single area. And so for today, high of 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms this afternoon, drying out tonight with some patchy fog in the southern valleys, lows in the low 60s. Our 7-day forecast, dry for Wednesday, highs in the mid to upper 80s, and that warmth continues for Thursday and Friday, high of 90 and 88. So hazy, hot, and humid conditions. Again, I mentioned before, the dog days of summer are here.
Not like Florida, though.
Definitely not like Florida. I think the heat index, the feels like temperatures reach in the, 110 to 115 range. Way too hot.
Yeah, we're lucky. Eric, thanks. Still ahead here. And thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Gage in Frehanna this morning.
And beautiful weather yesterday for that induction ceremony.
Yeah, fantastic weather. In fact, we had low humidity, sunshine, 70s and 80s. We haven't had that all summer pretty much. We had storms, humidity, all that type of stuff. But we return to some scattered showers today. We do warm up as we approach the middle of this week. In fact, the temperatures this morning are somewhat on the mild side in the Mohawk Valley, 61 in Clinton, 63 degrees checking in New Hartford, and to the south, temperatures in the 50s and 60s, 59 in Cooperstown, as well as Milford, 58 in Westford, 55 in Evanston, 57 in Hartwick, and 61 degrees checking in Lawrence. And things are mostly dry on the radar, besides an isolated storm that has since moved through Utica and is still pushing through central Herkimer County. Some rain showers in Ohio as well as Newport right now, just north of Salisbury. And for the most part, things are looking dry, besides another storm that is set to move into western Chenango County within the next 30 minutes or so. And so for today, highs reaching the upper 70s to low 80s with scattered showers and storms. One or two of these storms could be on the stronger side. I'll explain the risks in more detail coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Let's get right to it now. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a little more.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Well, here we are again with another smoke forecast. In terms of the wildfire smoke out in western Canada, this is set to reach our area roughly between Tuesday night and into Wednesday, early Wednesday afternoon. Notice this plume right here moving into primarily western New York. Some of this could reach as far east as Albany, and our near surface smoke forecast shows the possibility of this impacting air quality near the surface. Nothing too bad, but enough where we do have an air quality forecast of a level 2 out of 5. Basically means those of you who are unusually sensitive to air quality concerns as well as particulates in the atmosphere, you have a few health concerns that recommend avoiding too much time outside. And again, this is the extent of where everything should be. The primary areas seeing the heavier smoke look to be, again, the western part of New York as well as in Canada, but some of this could reach into as far east as central New York. Gary?
Eric, thanks. After Texas installed
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. Things this morning are somewhat active, at least in the Utica-Rome region, as a storm continues to move through central New York and is still pushing to the northeast. Things are dry now. At a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar in the Utica area. However, since the past hour or so, this single isolated storm has continued to push through central Herkimer County and is moving outside of the area within the next couple of hours. Still monitoring a few storms to the southwest, though, that'll slowly push into the Shenango County region and eventually the southern part of the Mohawk Valley. Around the clock today, though, starting out with temperatures still on the cool but mild side this morning in the low 60s, warming up into the low 80s by this afternoon. With the humidity, it will feel slightly more warm, reaching the low to mid 80s with feels-like temperatures. And our weather grades still, although we're seeing isolated storms, mostly dry for the rest of central New York until around noontime. Then things become more active as storms become more scattered. However, the day does not appear to be a complete washout with rain from sunrise to sunset. Only a few scattered storms could produce some short-lived showers. With these storms, however, one or two could be on the stronger side. We are level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, meaning all of central New York in this dark green marginal risk. And the biggest concerns are going to be gusty winds as well as a potential for hail to develop. So if you're spending time outside today, have your phone handy in case you receive any weather alerts of a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, the risk for today is still on the low side. Besides today, taking a look at the week ahead, isolated storm possible Tuesday, but still remaining mostly dry, warming up into the low to mid 80s by Wednesday with increasing humidity and mostly sunny skies. A big warm-up towards the end of the week, however. Hazy, hot, and humid conditions for Thursday and Friday with scattered showers and storms, and highs approaching the low 90s to upper 80s for both of those days. But to the near term, a trough moving into New York, meaning we're going to be seeing some scattered showers and storms this afternoon. So starting out mostly dry as we head into this afternoon, seeing a few scattered showers and storms develop between 3 o'clock and 8 p.m. And again, one or two of these storms could be on the stronger side, producing locally heavy rainfall and a possibility of some gusty winds. This will push through and things dry out with some patchy fog for early Tuesday morning before a low chance of additional isolated showers and storms are possible for Tuesday. So again, for today, high 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms, patchy fog tonight, lows down into the low 60s. Our 7-day forecast, mostly dry for Wednesday, scattered showers and storms Thursday and Friday. with very warm and humid conditions, highs reaching the upper 80s to low 90s. And with the heat index, it might feel like the mid 90s for Thursday. So bit toasty out there for the end of the week.
Yeah, the dog days of summer.
Yep.
They're here. Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on join us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Gage in for Hannah this morning.
And what is she in for on her day off?
Well, I think down in Florida, probably
That's right, she's in Florida, not
probably
here.
some very warm temperatures. I was down there last week and very, very hot. Now, we're going to get some of that heat later this week, but first, we got to get some scattered showers and storms today. In fact, the temperatures this morning are still on the cool but mild side. 61 Clinton, 63 degrees in New Hartford, and to the south, 59 in Cooperstown, 56 Morris, 55 Edmiston, 58 in Westford, 57 in Hartwick. And for the most part, we are dry across central New York, besides an isolated storm that has moved through Utica and to just to the north as well, moving through Marcy as well as Russia, and is continuing to move outside of Herkimer County at this point, with a single downpour possibly continuing into some areas of the North Country. Besides that, though, more scattered showers and storms are going to be developing to the south, and that'll be our weather for the most part today. And temperatures warming up into the upper 70s to low 80s. As we head into this week, we are looking at the return of wildfire smoke, as well as a possibility of temperatures climbing into the low 90s. I'll explain in more detail coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the storm track.
The weather forecast for the next 4 days is going to be somewhat active, at least for today as well as Thursday and Friday. But for the most part, Tuesday looking mostly dry with an isolated shower or storm, especially south of the Mohawk Valley, and dry conditions are expected for Wednesday. Now to the current conditions right now. Temperatures are in the low 60s. With dew points in the upper 50s. The humidity will continue to rise as we head into the middle of this coming week. Along with the current conditions right now, the live Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar is showing an isolated storm still moving through some parts of central Herkimer County at this point, but additional scattered showers and storms are expected, and one or two could be on the stronger side, producing gusty winds, small hail, as well as locally heavy downpours. The whole day itself isn't expected to be a complete washout, but again, just remain weather aware. Have your phone handy in case you receive any warnings, as temperatures warm up into the low to mid 80s with scattered showers and storms. Getting more detail on the timing and arrival of these showers coming up. Back over to you.
Eric, thanks. Well, what do you think of this? Tony.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Welcome back. After a brief shower in the Utica area early this morning, most of central New York is still staying dry for now. We are monitoring a few showers and storms. The southwest set to move into our area as we head into the early part of this afternoon. Here's a live look at downtown Utica from an Nexus camera. Gorgeous blue skies after the rain showers, and things are looking dry for the next few hours here in downtown Utica. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are noticing one or two isolated storms to the south that could be moving into the central to western part of Oneida County within the next few hours, or at least by the next few hours or so. Around the clock today, temperature-wise, starting out in the low 60s, warming up into the low to mid 80s. It will feel like the low to mid 80s with the humidity. And our weather grade, still a dry start for most of us, but storm chances do increase as we head into the early part of this afternoon. And one or two of these storms could be on the stronger side. We're level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, meaning that some of these storms could produce locally heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and even the potential for some hail as well. But the day itself doesn't look to be a complete washout. The week ahead, besides today, things are trending more dry for Tuesday with an isolated shower or storm, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. Wednesday, mostly dry with increasing humidity as well as plenty of sunshine, and we continue to warm up throughout the middle and end of this week as highs approach the upper 80s to low 90s Thursday and Friday with hazy, hot, and humid conditions. So to our Skycast, the timing and arrival of these showers and storms, besides those isolated ones I just mentioned a few minutes ago to the southern valleys set to arrive within the next few hours or so, at least for most parts of Madison County. By 11:30 to noontime, things start to get more active as scattered showers and storms will be on and off throughout most of today between 1 p.m. and around 8 p.m. with the latest information we got within the last 15 minutes or so. This will continue to push through, and then things dry out by early Tuesday morning with patchy fog developing in higher elevations. And then for the most part, Tuesday looks to remain dry. We're still monitoring the chance for an isolated shower or storm, again, especially south of the valley. So for today, high of 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Tonight, low in the low 60s with patchy fog. Our 7-day forecast, an isolated shower or storm possible Tuesday, dry for Wednesday, and for Thursday and Friday, continuing to warm up. Hazy, hot, and humid, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. You'll feel very, very warm.
Yeah, so these next couple of days might be the best to get out and maybe golf because it might get too hot later in the week.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I would say probably perfect golfing weather is upper 70s, maybe. If you have too much of a breeze, though, it could affect the ball. So
that's for sure. Eric, thanks. Still ahead on Sunrise, several.
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I am meteorologist Eric Gage, in for Hannah this morning.
And Hannah is down in Miami, where the temperatures are probably right over 100 degrees again today.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely really hot down in Florida, and we're going to be seeing some of that heat. Nowhere near hundreds, but at least closer to 90 by the end of this week. But first, though, today we're going to get some scattered showers and storms. Here's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. An isolated storm moved through the Utica region earlier on this morning, and since then things are still looking mostly dry for the rest of the area, besides just south of Old Forge. And we are still monitoring this one isolated storm, actually two of those that are still slowly moving into Chenango County and eventually Madison County. Our thoughts are as they approach the Mohawk Valley, they will continue to weaken, but just be prepared to experience an isolated brief downpour in some areas in Oneida County, at least within the next couple of hours. Skywatch is checking in this morning, 61 Clinton, 63 New Hartford and Mohawk, and to the south, 50s and 60s, 59 Cooperstown and Milford, 61 in Lawrence, 57 in Hartwick, and 55 in Edmiston. And for today, again warming up into the upper 70s to low 80s with those scattered showers and storms arriving by the afternoon. One or two of those could be on the stronger side. The day itself not expected to be a complete washout, but we'll explain the risks with some of these storms coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Let's get right.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. After an early morning shower in the Utica area, things are drying out for most of us for now, with scattered showers arriving by this afternoon. Here's a live look at downtown Utica from an Nexus camera. Blue skies, quiet conditions, roads and sidewalks are slowly drying after that early morning shower that has since moved just south of Old Forge into the Adirondacks. Behind that, though, we are tracking another round of isolated showers just to the west of Norwich, south of Hamilton and Madison County. And this round was set to move into the Madison County area within the next hour or two, and is expected to slowly weaken as it approaches the valley before additional showers are expected by this afternoon. Around the clock today, temperature-wise, starting out in the low to mid-60s, warming up into the low 80s by this afternoon, With humidity, it will feel slightly warmer into the mid-80s, and our weather grade still a dry start this morning, but scattered showers and storms do arrive by this afternoon. 1 or 2 of these showers and storms could be on the stronger side. A level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather for all of central New York, with the highest risks being local heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and the potential for hail to form. The whole day itself isn't expected to be a complete washout, however. And as we head into the middle of this coming week, an isolated shower or storm for Tuesday, dry Wednesday with increasing humidity. And we continue to warm up by Thursday and Friday with highs reaching the upper 80s to low 90s with hazy, hot, and humid conditions. So the bigger picture, a trough is moving through the northeast, set to bring scattered showers into our area. And the timing of this right now looks to be, at least with our latest information, between 1 and 4 p.m. being the possibly the strongest storms, and additional scattered showers and storms lingering until around 8 p.m. So right now you can see these showers continue to develop into central New York throughout the afternoon. 7 to 8 p.m. still seeing additional lingering showers. They weaken as the sun sets. And there is still potential for localized flooding in poor drainage areas in the I-88 corridor in case some of these storms still linger over one specific area for a longer period of time. After that, though, things dry out with patchy fog developing in higher elevations for early Tuesday morning. So for today, have 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Tonight, patchy fog, a low 62 degrees. Our 7-day forecast, dry for the most part Tuesday with an isolated shower or storm officially south of the valley, and dry for Wednesday.
Joining us, we begin this noon with the weather, as there is the threat of some showers, even some pop-up thunderstorms. Meteorologist Eric Gage is in for Hannah today. And Eric, some storms are actually showing up on the radar right now, right?
You're looking at a few showers and storms primarily south of the Mohawk Valley in Chenango and Otsego County. This just in too, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the southern portion of Otsego County. So let's zoom in a little bit right here. This is where most of the convection is going on right now. A warning is in effect for just east of Bainbridge heading towards Oneonta. The big risk for this, of course, is lightning, and lots of it. There's lots of lightning strikes. As a matter of fact, let me count this right here. I think the last time I counted was upwards of 200 or so. And we can see right here with a lightning strike, 288 lightning strikes within the past hour in this one system right here. Now, the other concern with the storm is going to be gusty winds, as well as another storm to the west, heading just west of Norwich to the northeast. Should be arriving in Sherburne roughly within the next hour or so. But for the rest of central New York right now, things are relatively quiet. However, weather does continue to turn more active for the rest of us as we head into this afternoon. And so again, today highs reaching the upper 70s to low 80s with those scattered showers and storms, those main risks being gusty winds, lightning, as well as some small hail. I'll go into more detail of what to expect throughout the rest of today, plus what to expect for the week ahead coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. It may be Monday, but Hall of Fame is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. After an early morning shower and storm in the Utica area, for the most part this morning's been relatively dry for a lot of central New York. However, this is not the case for some areas in Otsego and Chenango counties. First off, here's a live look at our Nexus camera looking at downtown Utica. Dry conditions in the Utica-Rome area at this point. However, things are pretty active to the south. Let's take a look here on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 dot for the radar. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the southern portion of Otsego County. Would not be surprised if this gets extended just to the north. The main concern with this right now, at least with the latest info I've seen, is going to be some pretty gusty winds. Take a look at this red right here. This is just indicating some pretty strong winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour, that should be arriving into just beyond Gilbertsville into Morris. It probably would weaken by the time it reaches New Lisbon and New Berlin, but still just be weather aware as these storms are producing some gusty winds as well as lots of lightning. The two that I'm monitoring right now is this dark red region into southern Otsego County, as well as another cell producing some weak rotation arriving into Norwich in Chenango County at this point. Other than that, though, most of central New York is still remaining relatively dry. That's the main concern at this point. And our weather risks for the most part today, as storms do become more scattered in nature, are going to be those gusty winds, as well as locally heavy rainfall and the possibility of small hail falling with these storms, as all of central New York is at a level 1 out of 5 risk. But it doesn't look to be a complete washout today for a lot of the area as a brief storm or two moves through the region. Temperatures right now are still in the upper 70s to low 80s. 80 in Whitesboro, 75 Westmoreland, 81 in Lowville, 71 degrees in Big Moose. And to the south, even warmer as well, with temperatures still in the upper 70s to low 70s. 79 Hamilton, 76 Sherburne, 73 degrees in Norwich. This trough to the west is influencing weather for today, and that means seeing some scattered showers and storms. So by noontime, still looking at a couple of these showers moving through the area. They become more scattered in nature as we approach the late afternoon to early evening. The weather does start to quiet down as we approach sunset tonight before things clear out, and we are looking at patchy fog developing in higher elevations by early Tuesday morning. And Tuesday itself is looking mostly dry. However, we are monitoring the chance for an isolated shower or storm developing, especially south of the northern United County area in northern Herkimer County. So generally speaking, the I-90 corridor in south. But for the most part, the day entirely is going to be dry, only a small chance of a shower in the afternoon. After that, though, warming up into the upper 80s by early Wednesday evening. So recap for today, have 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms developing, patchy fog tonight, lows down into the low 60s. And our 7-day forecast, you're going to have to use those air conditioners by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. High of 86 Wednesday, approaching 90 degrees Thursday and Friday. Hazy, hot and humid conditions. And we're monitoring a few scattered showers and storms for Saturday and Sunday. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Coming up, prosecutors at the weather in this half hour. Once again, here is meteorologist Eric Gage in for Hannah.
We do have an update within the past couple of minutes. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded our area to a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Taking a look at the graphic right here, we are in the yellow area, which primarily is centered around the Otsego, Fulton, Montgomery County areas at this time. And again, the biggest concern is going to be those gusty winds, possibly damaging winds, as well as development of some hail. So an update on the radar right now, a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The area is still seeing some storms right now, still appear to be centered in Chenango and Otsego counties. There is still a good amount of wind being produced by this single line that is currently heading just to the west of Edmiston, as well as another line that is passing just to the west of Lawrence, moving up closer to Hartwick at this time. The second storm in the Norwich area is showing weak rotation at this point. We'll continue to monitor that storm as well. And the bigger picture, continuing to see those small, disorganized, scattered showers developing out to the west that will be set to move into our area within the next several hours or so. We'll continue to monitor these storms throughout the afternoon, as high temperatures will continue to climb into the upper 70s to low 80s. The heat continues as we approach the middle and end of this week. Let you know how warm it gets coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. We may get hot.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. We are tracking a couple stronger showers and storms moving through the southern valleys this afternoon. Here's a live look in Cooperstown from a Utica National Cooperstown camera. If you know anyone outside, at least on the streets of Cooperstown, text them to let them know to head indoors or shut their windows, because we do have a pretty strong storm arriving in that area within the next roughly 10 to 20 minutes or so. Zooming in a little bit, we can see this system slowly moving to the north at this point, producing lots of lightning as well as some gusty winds. This is primarily for Otsego and parts of Chenango County. If you're just north of Evanston as well as Burlington, arriving in Hartwick within the next couple of minutes, Cooperstown, and even up to the north in Springfield within the next probably half hour or so. And so the full look of this radar right now is still looking at just an isolated storm, especially south of the valley, but convection is becoming more scattered as these storms continue to develop, especially west of our area, and they will slowly push east into central New York. Again, there is an update for our severe weather risk. We're at level 2 out of 5 now. We were at level 1 out of 5 earlier on today. And the primary risk, of course, being the gusty winds, the locally heavy rainfall from those downpours, as well as the potential for hail to develop with some of these storms. And this is all due to a weak trough from the west that is moving into the northeast, and this alone is causing some showers and storms to develop. So in our Skycast, you're looking at a few scattered showers and storms for this afternoon and this evening. They do become more scattered in nature roughly between 3 to 4 p.m. and up along until around 8 p.m. This evening and tonight. After this, though, things do slowly quiet down as we approach sunset, as temperatures slowly cool down into the upper 50s to low 60s. Along with that, too, patchy fog will develop in higher elevations from areas that did see plenty of rain today. And for your Tuesday, still looking mostly dry with a brief shower either in the Mohawk Valley or south. But the day itself looking to remain mostly dry. And after this, though, Wednesday is looking mostly dry. So for today, high of 84 degrees, scattered showers and storms arriving tonight, lows down into the low 60s with patchy fog. Our 7-day forecast, isolated storm possible Tuesday, dry for Wednesday, and we continue to warm up for Thursday and Friday, hazy, hot, and humid, highs reaching the upper 80s to low 90s. Gary?
It's going to get steamy.
Yep.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, the 2020...
I'm Jason Polish. We're going to get to those stories in just a minute. First, baseball, though, isn't the only headline we're dealing with right now out of Cooperstown.
Yeah, hail, rain, and the storm damage that came with it. Take a look. This is the intersection of Chestnut Street at Beaver Street. A huge tree taking down wires and blocking the road. More than 500 homes were without power in Cooperstown because of this, but power has since been restored. The Otsego County office building had to shut down for the day about 1:30 because it didn't have power. Let's get you over to the Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking what's to come.
Yeah, more storms are going to be arriving as we head into this evening. I think these aren't going to be quite as strong as what we saw this afternoon, but still some heavy rain, thunder and lightning to deal with. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect for all of central New York until 8 o'clock this evening. And again, a live look at the radar. We are looking at widespread storms moving in from the west. At the moment, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in our area, but that doesn't mean that these aren't going to hit us. It just means that they won't produce as strong of winds as what we saw earlier. Widespread heavy rain moving into western Oneida County. The storms between Syracuse and Utica packing a little bit of a punch here. These could be seeing perhaps maybe 40 to 50 mile an hour winds across the thruway as this heads to the east. And we do have some stronger storms towards the Binghamton area too. We'll have to keep an eye on those as they move into the southern valleys here later this evening. We do have a flood advisory in effect for Madison and Oneida counties until 6:15. Again, some locally heavy rain there. We'll be tracking these storms throughout the newscast. We'll let you know when these come to an end, and that's coming up. Back over to you.
Bill, thank you. A pickup truck fell off of Route 12 in Deer.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening. We are tracking some thunderstorms moving into central New York. Thunder, lightning, locally heavy rain, the primary concerns this evening. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At the moment, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in our area. Remember, a warning means the storm is capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and/or quarter-sized or greater hail. And again, at the moment, that's not the case. But again, we're still expecting some thunder, some lightning, 133 lightning strikes with this line approaching from the west over the past half hour. We'll take a closer look at this. Rome seeing widespread steady rain, really the northern half of Oneida County in a pretty good rain right now. This is going to continue for about the next hour or so. It's stronger to the south. You can see more lightning strikes here. This is in Chenango County. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in the very southern part of Chenango County with this line. That is capable of producing some stronger winds, but we do expect this line to move through over the next hour or so across the area. And again, it's primarily going to be a rainmaker with some thunder and lightning. There is a flood advisory in effect for western Oneida County. If you're traveling along the New York State Thruway towards Syracuse, just be aware there could be some ponding on the roadways out here. Some pretty heavy rain taking place for the past hour or so. Generally 1 to 2 inches has fallen, and there's more rain in this area happening now. So again, that flood advisory is in effect until 6:15. A live look in Cooperstown where things are quiet for now. This area saw a stronger storm earlier this afternoon. Once the weather settles down tonight, we're going to start to see the heat and humidity build. As we look ahead, temperatures will climb into the mid-80s on Wednesday and Thursday. We're close to 90 on Friday. It's going to feel a lot warmer than that with the humidity, but it does break as we head into the weekend and beyond. A cold front will put an end to that. So a couple of very hot days ahead and also very humid days, especially Thursday and Friday, expecting dew points to climb into the low 70s, which is the highest we've seen so far this season. As we look at the radar and satellite image, again, tracking some thunderstorms this evening. Moving in from the west, it's a weak cold front that's producing these storms. We're going to see a very small drop in the temperature here in the wake of it, but really not much change in the weather is expected as we head into tomorrow. Tonight, the showers and storms come to an end. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. We'll see some patchy fog here overnight. Clouds early tomorrow morning give way to sunshine. A very small chance of a pop-up shower or storm in the afternoon. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. We're dry tomorrow night. We're dry on Wednesday. Wednesday is trending warmer and slightly more humid with high temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Tonight, again, those showers and storms come to an end. Some patchy fog, a low of 62. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, an isolated storm in the afternoon, and a high temperature of 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The heat and humidity really build later this week. We're close to 90 on Friday. Hazy, hot, and humid. Showers, thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we'll see a nice drop in the temperature heading into early next week. We're going to have more tracking these storms throughout the newscasts.
All right, Bill, thank
Bill.
you. Because of this weather, tonight.
On a day like today, we don't like to stay away from the Weather Center for too long. What you're looking at behind me is a storm front moving through. It was taken on Star Hill in Remsen earlier this afternoon. Looks like we're not done yet either. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking that line of storms. Bill.
Yes, we are. We are looking to the west, and we have a line of storms moving in. At the moment, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings with it. That means storms capable of producing winds over 60 miles an hour or 1-inch size hail. But still, thunder, lightning, locally heavy rain. Let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. You can see that this is likely going to affect all of central New York at some point. Right now, it's raining pretty good. Steady, moderate rain taking place across northern Oneida County. This part of the line's a little bit stronger than the rest. It's going to move along the New York State Thruway, producing some locally heavy rain and some thunder and lightning, moving towards Kirkland at 545, 603 in Utica, 622 in Frankfort, German Flats 630, and Little Falls at 648. There's another part of this line, again, also a little bit stronger than the rest. This is tracking into southern Otsego County, moving towards Norwich at 536. Oneonta 631, Milford at 646, and Davenport at 658. There's also a flood advisory in effect for western Oneida County. This is also into Madison County along the New York State Thruway, just west of Rome. there's the possibility of some potty on roadways here as more than an inch of rain has fallen in this area. So if you're driving along the thruway, just keep that in mind. Those storms will be moving out as we head into later this evening. And we are tracking a return to some higher levels of humidity and heat. Look at your forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Tens of millions of Americans are struggling to stay cool. Already, more than 5,000 heat records have been broken or tied in the U.S. in the last 30 days. And as Cole Higgins reports, looks like there's no let-up.
More than 35 million people are under heat alerts Monday across the U.S. after more than 35 heat-related records were broken on Sunday alone, according to the National Weather Service.
Feels like an oven.
Las Vegas shattering its record with a temperature of 116 degrees. In Death Valley, California, a daily record-breaking 128 degrees.
I don't like the heat, but it's something that you have to deal with living in Arizona.
It's been so hot in parts of Arizona that doctors in Maricopa County are seeing a spike in patients burned by just falling on the ground.
The pavement is so hot that it only takes a fraction of a second to get a pretty deep burn.
Phoenix fire crews inundated with calls to help people who can't escape the heat and the elderly.
Put some of our IVs on ice or cool our IVs so we can cool that internal temperature quicker for those individuals.
The heat wave set to impact even more Americans this week from the Midwest to the East Coast. It's even affecting ocean temperatures and threatening coral reefs.
Parts of the Caribbean like Belize are already bleaching and bleaching pretty severely. And Florida is where Belize was about a month ago.
South Florida's abnormally warm water putting some corals there at risk of extinction. Scientists fear without coral, Florida could lose a natural defense system that helps protect the coastlines from waves and flooding during hurricanes. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Just ahead, an update on the New Hartford Little League team on the Weather Center. It's an alert day. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis talking about thunderstorm watches and warnings. Where are we right now?
Right now, we're in the watching phase. We have storms moving in. At the moment, we don't have anything pending in terms of any imminent severe weather. But still, let's take a look at the map. This covers our entire area until 8 o'clock this evening. And it's what's happening now and over the next hour or two that we're going to be watching for the possibility of some stronger storms. A lot of thunder and lightning and locally heavy rain. That's coming in from our area, from the west, I should say. Steady rain across northern Oneida County. This particular part of the line is a lot stronger, and it's very close to severe limits. It's likely producing winds at about 50 to 60 miles an hour. So that part of the line we're going to keep an eye on. So moving into southern Oneida County, Paris at 604, Winfield 621, German Fly 639, and Little Falls at 659. That one does have the possibility, again, of producing some stronger winds. And thunder and lightning continues across the southern valleys, too. This is in Chenango County. This part of the line is moving east, moving towards southern Otsego County, Morris, New Lisbon, Lawrence here in the next half an hour or so. Cooperstown at 647. Looking further to the west, we do have a few more scattered showers and storms. So we won't be done initially with this first line. We'll have to keep an eye on those. And right now, the one thing we are watching, too, in addition to the storms, there's some localized flooding potential here in western Oneida County. There's a flood advisory in effect until 6:15 for Oneida, just west of Rome. And again, we'll continue to see some rain here for about the next hour or so with that. Storms come to an end tonight. We're tracking an increase in the heat and humidity as we head into the end of the week. A look at your forecast is coming up. Back over to you.
The New Hartford Little League team has begun its quest for a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening. I'm continuing to track thunderstorms moving in from the west this evening. This is a line, so just about everybody's going to experience this type of weather, but it is going to affect areas differently because the line has different areas that are stronger compared to others. Let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, you can see a good portion of central New York being impacted by this line of storms. We'll start by counting the lightning strikes. To give you an update here, the number of lightning strikes in the last half hour, 93, so down a little bit compared to half an hour ago. Some steady rain continues north of the valley. There's a lot less lightning strikes in the North Country. The storms are weaker, moving into cooler air. Boonville into Lewis County and northern Herkimer County. We're seeing a lot more thunder. We're seeing a lot more lightning strikes with this particular storm in southern Otsego County, southern Oneida County, I should say. This part of the line is stronger than the others, and it has the possibility of producing up to 50-mile-an-hour winds as it moves towards Paris at 6:06, Clayville 6:13, Litchfield at 6:26, and German Flats at 6:42. This could turn severe if it strengthens more, so we'll keep an eye on that. This is also producing some locally heavy rain and lots of thunder and lightning. This should pass just south of Utica, but again, it could impact parts of the Mohawk Valley. The southern part of this line weakening somewhat, looking at some thunder. The lightning strikes have decreased in the storms that are approaching Otsego County. But still, we look to the west, there are more storms. This one is warned. This is out towards the Cortland area. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we head into this evening. Also, too, locally heavy rain has fallen in western Oneida County, a flood advisory in effect until 6:15. If you're traveling along the New York State Thruway, just keep that in mind. There could be ponding on the roadways with any of these locally heavy downpours. Live look in Cooperstown, where things are quieting down for now. There were some stronger storms here earlier. The trend in temperature is looking much warmer ahead. We're looking at a return to the heat with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s later in the week, along with the humidity. The humidity later this week is likely going to be the highest that it's been all summer long, with dew points is expected to climb into the low 70s. Schuyler 67, Mohawk 78, Curtis Corners 71. Our Skywatchers checking in this evening. Cooperstown 75, Newport with 73 degrees in Maryland, checking in with 76. Storms again continue tonight. They come to an end before midnight. Overnight lows look to drop into the low 60s. Patchy fog first thing tomorrow morning, followed by sunshine. An isolated storm is possible in the afternoon with temperatures in the low 80s. Tonight, patchy fog, a low of 62. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny skies. Again, an isolated storm, temperatures in the low 80s. We're dry on Wednesday. We could see some thunderstorms return Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Hot, humid, temperatures close to 90 degrees. Cooler weather by Sunday and Monday. We'll be right back.
Copeland, we do have some nice days ahead, but first we have to get through tonight. It is a Storm Tracker 2 alert day.
And Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking it all from the Weather Center tonight. Bill, good evening.
Yeah, we've got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock this evening, so we are in alert mode. We're watching to the west. This line of storms is moving in. At the moment, we don't have any warnings in place, but I want to take a closer look at this storm across southern Oneida County. It has the potential producing winds up to 50 miles an hour, so that's really close to severe, what the Weather Service would do for a severe thunderstorm warning. So even though it doesn't have one on out there right now, I would like to ask the folks that are in the path of this storm to get inside. Clayville at 6:14, Cedar Lake at 6:22, Litchfield 6:26, Frankfort 6:38, German Flats 6:43. So again, it passes near or just south of the Mohawk Valley as we head into this evening. We're going to continue to track more storms moving in from the west as we head into the newscast. Back over to you.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Those severe storms rolled through Cooperstown today, leaving some damage behind. This is the intersection of Chestnut and Beaver Streets. A huge tree taking down power lines and cutting electricity to about 500 homes. It has since been restored. The Otsego County office building had to shut down for the day about 1:30 because it didn't have power.
New at 6, the Otsego County Sheriff's Department has a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
A line of thunderstorms continues to move through central New York this evening. Let's jump into the Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking, again, this widespread line of storms. The middle part of it is stronger than the northern and the southern part. So we're going to start here. This part is in southern Oneida County, has the potential of producing damaging winds. In fact, when this was in Madison County, it did produce some wind damage. So again, it does have a history of producing some strong winds. Moving towards Clayville at 6:12, Days Corners at 6:20, Litchfield 6:25, German Flats 6:41. and Little Falls at 7:01. And while this does not have a severe thunderstorm warning on it, it's very close. It's just below severe limits. So if you're in the path of this, you're going to want to get indoors. There's a lot of thunder and lightning with this too, and some locally heavy rain. To the north we go, we can see more showers and thunderstorms and lightning strikes from Newport to Trenton. Not quite as strong along this part of the line. The other part that I'm watching is in Otsego County. This part has recently developed. It's become a lot stronger in about the last 15 minutes. We'll put a track on this. This heads towards Milford at 6:38, Chaseville at 6:51, and Worcester at 7:02. Again, gusty winds, locally heavy rain, thunder and lightning to be expected as this line rolls through. There are a few more scattered storms to the west, so this isn't the only line that we're tracking, but I think these will weaken before they arrive. If they do hold together, maybe an additional downpour, maybe a rumble of thunder later this evening. A live look in downtown Utica. Again, some heavy rain moving in. Some gusty winds are possible here too. Looking ahead, storms come to an end tonight. We're dry tomorrow. There's going to be a distinct warming trend, and it's going to turn very humid here later this week. High temperatures close to 90 on Friday, and the highest levels of humidity we've seen so far this summer are expected on Thursday and Friday as dew points climb into the low 70s, feeling tropical by later this week. Old Forge 69, Curtis Quarters checking in with 71. It's cooler across the North Country today with the rain. Across Southern Valleys, Edmonston 74, Cooperstown 75, and Worcester checking in with 75 degrees. To the west we go. Again, the weather does quiet down tonight. The storms that are here will be around for the next couple of hours, but things start to quiet down as we head past midnight tonight. Patchy fog, overnight lows drop into the low 60s. Tomorrow looks nice. I think we'll see a decent amount of sunshine. Very small chance of a pop-up storm in the afternoon. I think it's going to be isolated, which means just a few people dealing with that here in the afternoon. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks to remain dry. And then as we head into Wednesday, the completely dry day, plenty of sunshine, warm. Temperatures making a run into the mid-80s. Patchy fog tonight down to 62 as the storms come to an end. Partly sunny tomorrow, an isolated storm, a high of 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Wednesday, 86 for the high, mostly sunny skies. The humidity starts to crank up beginning Thursday, 86, close to 90 on Friday. Scattered showers and storms. Cooler weather as we head into the second half of the weekend. Temperatures in the 70s on Sunday and Monday. We'll be right back.
Paulus alongside Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We saw some raucous storms come through the area today. This is some video from Remsen, some decent lightning here, and winds brought down trees all over the viewing area. This in Otsego County and Cooperstown, they were without power for some time today. So let's talk a little bit about what we saw today, and are we out of the woods yet?
Well, severe thunderstorms, wind damage. This is one of the reasons why we break into programming for severe thunderstorm warnings. Storms can do this, and we saw a few of them do this earlier today. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the graphic here. This is from the National Weather Service. Different wind damage reports, a few reports in the valley from wind damage, a report of hail in Cooperstown, and then another report of folks being struck by lightning in Madison County. Don't have the updates here, but that came in through the Weather Service today.
That's serious, and so this was not just your typical storm. It did pack a punch here and there.
And some areas definitely getting hit a lot harder than others here. Thankfully, we're done with this for today. As we head into tomorrow, the weather looks to improve. In fact, we are looking at really nice weather if you're heading out to the Boonville Oneida County Fair tomorrow, the beginning of that. We're looking at temperatures that will climb into the upper 70s to low 80s. So here's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is looking quiet across the area. The storms have pushed to the east, and the weather tonight will dry out. As we head into tonight, you can leave the windows open. It should be pretty comfortable out there. Give the air conditioner a break. We expect overnight lows to drop into the low 60s, and it's generally going to dry out. Again, a nice day tomorrow. The humidity looks to build, though, as we head into the weekend. We have more chances for storms as we look ahead. Look at your forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Happening tomorrow. It's day one.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Showers and thunderstorms have now pushed to the east, and the weather is going to quiet out tonight. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Have a look at the tower cam time lapse of this afternoon with the storms rolling in. Look at this whoosh of rain that comes right through right around 5:30, and then a pretty nice sunset. The weather tonight is looking pretty quiet after dealing with those storms earlier today. We'll get a much needed break in the weather tomorrow. Slight uptick in poor air quality. We will get a glancing shot of wildfire smoke that's been originating in Canada. We've been talking about this a lot this summer. A very small change in the air quality is expected tomorrow as well as Wednesday as wildfire smoke drifts in from the west. It's not going to be anywhere near as bad as the last couple of times that we've had smoke here. In fact, aside from maybe a small amount of haze, you might not even notice much of a difference here. I don't think you're going to be able to smell it either, with just a very, very light amount expected to move into the area. But if you're really sensitive to this, again, that is something to keep in mind. Temperatures are going to warm up. We're going to continue to see temperatures in the 80s this week. I think we top out at 90 on Friday. That looks to be the hottest day of the week. And then a strong cold front's going to knock the temperatures down as we head into the weekend. Before we get there, we've got a lot of humidity to get through. The next couple of days, not too bad, but you might notice it's muggy. Thursday and Friday, just feeling downright tropical. I think we're looking at the highest levels of humidity that we've seen so far this summer. As we look at the radar and satellite image, scattered showers and storms today, very weak cold front moving through, just kind of keeping the humidity in check. And we're looking at dry weather tonight, some patchy fog. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. Tomorrow, clouds give way to sunshine. Should be a pretty nice day. Temperatures look to climb into the low to mid 80s. There is the small chance of an isolated storm in the afternoon. Not really expecting a lot there. We're dry tomorrow night, and we are completely dry on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures climb into the mid 80s. Patchy fog tonight down to 62. Tomorrow, a pretty nice day, comfortable levels of humidity. And again, there is the chance of an isolated storm in the afternoon, a high of 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Wednesday, 86 for the high, mostly sunny. Chance of storms Thursday, that's when the humidity is going to really crank up. The heat is on Friday, that high of 90. Will likely feel like mid-90s with the humidity. Thunderstorms here for Saturday. Temperatures in the 70s by Sunday and Monday. We'll be right back.
Paulus, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to get to those stories in just a moment. First, the storms we experienced today produced some gusty winds, hail, and some lightning as well. Some power outages, too. There was a tree down in Cooperstown right there, knocking out power there for a short time. Scary scene, though, in Madison County and the town of Lincoln. It's your top story tonight. According to the Madison County Sheriff's Office, 3 men were struck by lightning in the town of Lincoln. They were doing construction work and were waiting for the storm to pass near a flagpole, which was struck by lightning. One worker was given CPR, revived at the scene. All 3 had to be sent to Oneida Hospital. One is in critical condition, but they are all expected to survive. I want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis right now. And a lot of times some folks maybe they're annoyed when you have to break into programming because it's a severe thunderstorm warning. These are the reasons why we do these kind of things, because lightning can severely hurt people, kill them, as a matter of fact. And these are warnings we need to have out there. And we saw lightning all over the place and all sorts of winds today, too.
Yeah, and anytime we talk about a severe thunderstorm warning, this is what they can do. It's wind, which we saw wind gusts over 60 miles an hour taking down trees. We had hail that was up to quarter-sized in Cooperstown. And again, with that lightning strike, too. And so it's not necessarily, even any type of thunderstorm can do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be severe. So again, this is why we're here. And we are tracking more thunderstorms here later this week, but we do get a break in this tonight. We're expecting dry weather overnight. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, storms pushing to the east, weakening. Things are looking quiet here as of this evening. Now, the weather tomorrow should be nice for the start of the Oneida County Fair. Looking at temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s, a little bit cooler to the north. Should be a nice day. We're tracking, again, more showers and thunderstorms here later this week, but not tomorrow. Tonight, good night to leave the windows open, let the house cool off, some natural air conditioning. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. You will definitely need the air conditioner if you have it here later this week. We've got some hot weather on the way. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, you mentioned it.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Thunderstorms have pushed to the east and they've weakened tonight. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Skies are clearing out and it's going to set the stage for fog tonight. It's a time lapse of our Capby Tower Cam. Take a look at this. The storm clouds just kind of racing across Utica this evening. You can see the whoosh of the water moving across our tower cam. Some gusty winds, thunder, lightning, even some small hail today with those storms that rolled through. And again, the stage is set for a pretty quiet night. Yes, we're talking about this again, the air quality. We have some wildfire smoke that will arrive tomorrow, but the good news is this is going to be very light. The lightest that we've seen so far, so this only minimally impacts the air quality as Canadian wildfire smoke originating from Alberta works its way into central New York tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Again, we're not expecting this to be highly impactful like the last couple of events, maybe just a light haze in the air. Not expecting you to be able to smell this. And only the most sensitive people will really have a minor problem with this. Temperatures are going to warm up. We're into the 80s this week, mid to upper 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. 90 Friday, that looks to be the hottest day of the week. And then the temperatures will start to cool off as a strong cold front arrives. Humidity, not too bad over the next couple of days, but it abruptly changes Thursday. Thursday and Friday, the most humid air so far this season is expected to arrive. Feeling downright tropical with dew points in the low 70s expected by Thursday and Friday. Showers, thunderstorms, again, moving to the east tonight. We get a chance to get a break in the weather tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Again, some patchy fog overnight. Temperatures drop into the low 60s. Pretty comfortable night out there. Clouds give way to sunshine tomorrow. Should be a nice day. There's a very small chance of a pop-up shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon. I'm not expecting that to impact many areas, but something to be on the lookout for if you're going to be spending time outdoors. Dry tomorrow night. Wednesday looks beautiful, but looking at a sunny day from start to finish and also very warm. Temperatures look to climb into the mid-80s. Patchy fog tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, again, a nice day. An isolated storm is possible in the afternoon, a high of 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Wednesday, mid-80s, sunny skies. Thursday, showers, thunderstorms, 86. Hazy, hot, humid Friday, 90. Showers, thunderstorms arrive Saturday. It's going to feel much cooler as we look ahead to Sunday and Monday. But again, if you're going to be spending time outdoors later this week, keep an eye on the sky.
And tomorrow,